Hello there. Today I'm going to try and show you how to extend a die cut with a fancy border like this. People were asking me yesterday how you do it. It's not difficult. It's a bit fiddly from time to time, and you need to just make sure that things are sort of square and all the rest of it. But let me show you. Let me show you what I do. So first of all, to do a fancy edge, you'll need a border die. I've got all sorts. I've just picked out 3. I used the leaves. I don't know where that leaf one came from, but I've got various border dies. But the important thing, if you want to extend a square die like that, is to make sure that there's no cutting line between the edge and where you're going to put it. So none of these have a cutting line here. Some you can see there'll be one of these lines, but a straight one, so that it would just cut out a border. So that's the first thing. So no cutting line on your border die. The next thing is to try to see if you can match the pattern that you're going to get with the size of square that you want to cut out. For example, this one, I think I'll try this one today. It's just got little scallops on it. So if I look here, where it starts and ends, it's going to be difficult to make this one balance. My square dies are press cut nesting dies, and the increments are so small. You can see, look here, the difference between those two. They're really close. So I'm going to look at the next one, and it looks to me like the cutting line each side just matches with the end of one of these scallops, both ends. So that should look quite nice when it's cut out. So I'm going to put this one away, put that one away, and we'll concentrate on these two. Okay, first thing, we need to put our square onto a piece of card, obviously with enough space at one end to allow the scallop onto it, or whatever border die you've got. So I am going to tape with slow tack tape this die onto this piece of card. And I'm doing a fairly long bit of tape, and I'll show you why in a minute. And it's going in a specific place. It's going right at the bottom of the die. Okay, let's get this straight. Put that over there. Right, and another piece the other side. Same thing, right at the bottom of the die and hanging over the edge. Now, this is the tricky bit. What we need to do, when you come to put this onto your plate, you want to place this so that this cutting edge is just off the edge of the bottom plate. Just off the edge. Now, these plates in my Platinum 6 are slightly beveled at one end, so I'm going to use the end that isn't beveled. So I'm going to put this right up onto the end. Now, the easiest way to do this with light coloured card is to turn it over, hold it up to the light, which you can't see at the moment because the light's in the wrong place for you, but look at the light and see that the edge of the die is just over the edge. And then I'm going to fold this tape onto the outside plate and keep it there. Right, now, when I'll bring this in a bit. Oh, for daisy. When I put my other plate on top, because there's no plate underneath this cutting line, that cutting line isn't going to get cut. So here's my top plate, pop this on top, and through we go. Right, now let me just see if you can see what we're doing. Yes, you can. Right, now when I take this off here, very gently, I hope it's not too stuck. There we go, 1, to. We have got this cut, just the 3 sides. The 4th side, the one that was hanging over the edge of the bottom plate, isn't cut. I'll put this out of the way just for a minute while we do the next bit. Okay. Now, the next bit we have to do is to put the fancy bit, the fancy die that we want, onto here as well. And I want to place it so that the edge of those scallops, like we looked at before, I'm going to put it so the edge of this die matches with the edge of those, the end of those cutting lines, like that. And I'm just going to put that tape onto the edges. Okay. Now that doesn't matter how it goes in now. Obviously you need to make sure that your cutting surface of your die cutting machine is wide enough to accept whatever border die you've got this way on. Okay. Now through with this. There we go. Move this out of the way. Now we're going to have to probably just cut off the sides because it won't quite have got to that point. Oh no, it's cut it off for me. Oh yes, there we go. So right here, I'm going to have to cut, and here, cut. So there, we have got a square with a fancy side. And that, as they say, is that. It's not difficult, just takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of planning, and away you go. So, as ever, short and sweet, thanks very much for watching.